In this video, you'll learn to write this font by your hand using this art line calligraphy pen that's easily available in any nearby fancy store. I'll teach you how to construct all the letters of this pointy lettering font from A to Z step by step. So grab your pen and any ruled notebook and let's begin. Vanakkam everybody, welcome to Learning Session with Jay. First of all, before you learn the letters, you need to learn the 4 basic strokes of the pointy lettering alphabet. These strokes are important to construct the letters. So, the first stroke is the vertical stem. Keep your pen flat like this and pull down to create a vertical line. The second stroke is the horizontal bar. Tilt your pen like this perpendicularly and drag to create a horizontal line. The third stroke is the left diagonal. Keep your pen flat and drag your pen towards the left side direction. And the fourth stroke is the right diagonal. Keep your pen flat once again and now drag your pen towards the right side direction. This pen can actually produce a thick line as well as a thin line depending on how you hold the pen. For this font style, you'll have to make sure to create only thick lines every time for all these 4 basic strokes by tilting your pen accordingly. Now, let's start writing the letters. For letter A, draw a left diagonal and then a right diagonal and a tiny little right diagonal in between for the crossbar. Letter B, draw a vertical stem and then a right diagonal and then a left diagonal. From in between of the previous stroke, once again a right diagonal and then a left diagonal, finish it off. For letter C, start with a left diagonal halfway and then a right diagonal for the rest of the halfway. There you go, C. For letter D, start with a vertical stem and then a right diagonal and then a left diagonal, half. For letter E, start with a left diagonal and then a right diagonal just like letter C, but along with a tiny little right diagonal in between for the letter E. For letter F, start with a vertical stem and then a left diagonal, but not so steep like the regular ones. A little bit of an acute angled left diagonal. The first one on the top and then the second one in between. For the letter G, left diagonal first, halfway, stop, and then right diagonal for the rest of the halfway. Once again, left diagonal halfway and then a horizontal bar finishing here. For the letter H, draw 2 vertical stems and then a tiny right diagonal for the crossbar, just like A. For the letter I, it's very simple, just a vertical stem. For the letter J, a vertical stem and then a right diagonal, tiny one. For the letter K, first of all draw a vertical stem and then a left diagonal and then a right diagonal, half. Next for letter L, draw a vertical stem and then a left diagonal which is less steep, just like how you did for letter F. For the letter M, draw a vertical stem and then a right diagonal and then a left diagonal and then another vertical stem. For the letter N, you need to draw a vertical stem and then a right diagonal and then another vertical stem. For the letter O, start with a left diagonal halfway, right diagonal halfway, and then you need to do a mirror image of this once again. So right diagonal halfway here and then a left diagonal finishing it off right here, like 2 C's intertwined in the opposite directions. P, start with a vertical stem and then a right diagonal and then a left diagonal finishing within the first half. For the letter Q, you have to do the same thing you did for letter O, left diagonal, right diagonal, left diagonal, along now with a right diagonal which is a tiny one for the tail. By the way, I have created a free gift for you. You can download the Pointy Lettering Workbook for free from the link in the description and print it and practice and enjoy. For the letter R, start with a vertical stem and then a right diagonal and then a left diagonal, and from in between of the previous stroke, do another right diagonal. For the letter S, start with a left diagonal and then a right diagonal for the spine and then another left diagonal. For the letter T, vertical stem and then a left diagonal which is not too steep. We've already seen that in a couple of places like F and L. For the letter U, draw a vertical stem first and then another vertical stem but a little bit shorter than the previous one. Now connect these two places with a left diagonal. For the letter V, a left diagonal and then a right diagonal joined together. For the letter W, start with a vertical stem and then a left diagonal and then a right diagonal, and then once again you have to finish it with a vertical stem. For the letter X, it's just two diagonals intersecting together, so start with a right diagonal first and then finish it off with a left diagonal intersecting in between. For the letter Y, start with a right diagonal and then a left diagonal, both squished in the first half, and for the second half draw a little vertical stem. For the letter Z, start with the left diagonal that's not so steep and then a right diagonal all the way down here, and once again a left diagonal that's not so steep. That's it. This font is an all uppercase font style, so the learning is done. Now let's write some words with the letters that we learned. Let's write the quote, "Cherish the moment." Okay, if you practiced or created anything from what you learned today, share and tag me at Sol Vervain so I can see your efforts. I hope this video was helpful. Nandri Vanakkam.